If you don't know who Taylor Swift is, then chances are you might be living under a rock. When you think about Taylor Swift, it's impossible to ignore her style has evolved over the years, from the girl next door country singer in 2006 to the fashion-forward icon she is today. Taylor's style transformation has been nothing short of iconic. Not only does her fashion journey mirrors her growth as an artist, but it also speaks to her ability to reflect the culture shift of the time. In today's video, we dive deep into Taylor Swift's style evolution and examine how her fashion choices have shaped and been shaped by her journey through the decades. Taylor Swift's style debut in the mid-2000s was quintessentially country girl meets pop princess. This was when she first burst into the music scene with her self-titled debut album in 2006, which was steeped in country influences. She was the picture of innocence with her blonde curls, sweet smile, and a wardrobe full of sundresses, cowboy boots, and simple yet feminine ensembles. In 2000, there was time with floral print and soft colors, and Taylor was the embodiment of this aesthetic. Her red carpet looks were often all about approachability, fresh and real. Think about the loose hair waves and the teen girl aesthetic that was popular at the time. Her go-to look included a tee-length dresses, often in pastel hues, and classic leather jackets or cardigans. Super laid-back, yet undeniably chic, this style echoed the persona she was trying to build, which is the girl who could be your best friend, singing about love, heartbreaks, and growing up in her diary turned album. There was a wholesome, relatable quality in her style that made her stand out in the pop country crossover world. As Tay-Tay's career progressed, particularly with the release of The Fearless in 2008, her style began to evolve with it. This was an era where she started dipping her toe into the mainstream and was often seen sporting more polished, but still undeniably girly looks. Gone were the high school sweetheart vibes, replaced by something a bit more mature, yet still very youthful. In this era, she started to experiment with bolder fashion choices, moving away from the flowy dresses and cardigans of her early years and embracing more glamorous red carpet gowns. Her hair also underwent transformation, going from bouncy curls to straightened, sleek waves, which was a huge trend at the time. These looks screamed grow up, yet they still maintain that classic sweet Taylor vibe. Her outfits during this time were often full of sparkles and shimmers, matching her rise to stardom. Think about her iconic gold dress in 2009 MTV Music Awards. Her fashion choices were as polished as her music, showing that she was already in the big leagues. As Taylor transitioned into Speak Now and Red's era, her style really started to reflect a stronger, more confident persona. As she should, considering the stuff she went through before releasing these albums. With Speak Now, her wardrobe still included lots of dresses, but they were now more structured, reflecting a more mature side of her. However, it was the Red that we saw the full-blown style revolution. The album's bold, romantic, and at the time nostalgic themes were matched with an equally daring fashion approach. In the Red era, her fashion choices became more experimental, reflecting her status as a true style icon. We saw her rock high-waisted shorts, sleek black outfits, and tailored blazers, proving she was no longer the cute country singer, but someone who was becoming more confident in her own skin. Her iconic bob haircut was literal reflection of the change in her style. Edgier, sharper, and more put together. Taylor was becoming a force to be reckoned with, both musically and fashionably. The Red Album era was also the period where she started wearing more statement pieces, whether it was her love for the bold red lip, which became a signature for years after, or the sleek, sophisticated dress style she started donning. At this point, Taylor wasn't afraid to make high fashion statements at events like the Met Gala or on the streets of New York, where she was often spotted in skinny jeans, oversized sunglasses, and leather jackets. She became a symbol of effortlessly chic coolness. Now let's talk about 1989. Not the year, but the era. This was a legit game changer, not just musically, but style-wise. Taylor went from country pop to full-on mainstream pop queen, and her fashion obviously reflected that shift. She ditched the long dresses and cardigans and embraced sleek, clean lines with the 1980s-inspired twist. Think crop tops, high-waisted skirts, and sharp geometric silhouettes. Her style became more modern and cosmopolitan, with a heavy dose of retro influence, channeling the likes of Carly Rae Jepsen and other pop stars of the time. One of the most notable aspects of her 1989 fashion era was her shift towards more minimalism. Taylor started to lean into clean, polished looks with a focus on accessories. She ditched the flowery aesthetic and embraced bold primary colors, oversized jackets, and tailored looks that felt very big city. Her hair also got a major upgrade as she chopped off her long locks and went for a sleek bob, which was absolutely everywhere during that time. This era, she definitely cemented her status as a style icon for millennial generations. Her street style during this time became a cultural movement, with many fans trying to emulate her polished, effortless outfits like high-waisted shorts, turtlenecks, and chunky sweaters. She became the embodiment of cool and quirky pop chic, a vibe that was reflected not just in her music, but also in the way she carried herself in the public eye. By the time Reputation album arrived, Taylor was ready to completely switch gears once again. In a move that caught many by surprise, her style became darker and edgier. Gone were the pastel colors and sunshine-filled vibes. Now Taylor embraced all things black, metallic, and leather. Her fashion took on a more streetwear aesthetic, with lots of oversized jackets, high-gloss fabrics, and darker tones. Even her hair became darker, shifting from platinum blonde to a deep ashy brown. Reputation was an era where Tay's fashion choices screamed, "I am in control and I don't care what you think." This was reflected in her choice of clothing, like studded jackets, dramatic high-neck shirts, and vinyl skirts were just the tip of the iceberg. She was no longer the cute, lovesick pop star. She was the bad girl with an agenda, and her fashion choices played a huge role in that transformation. Even her album cover for Reputation was ultra-modern and minimalistic, showing off Taylor's in a new fierce light. It was the complete reinvention of who Taylor Swift was, at least for the public eye. It was her reclaiming her narrative and choosing to be bold, unapologetic, and a bit rebellious. Now, years later after the Reputation era, Taylor's style took a soft, dreamy tone with Lover, album which was filled with pastel tones, heart-shaped imagery, and a sense of whimsical nostalgia. Brought a more romantic, thrill side of Taylor back into the spotlight. Her fashion shifted forward with a more flowy silhouette and soft colors, reminiscent of the Fearless days but with a more mature, grounded edge. Think of a glittery, pastel-colored dress she wore during this period of her dainty, vintage-inspired outfits. But just when Swifties thought they had figured out her style, she shocked everyone by dropping Folklore and Evermore, two albums that ushered in the return of her roots. Quiet, introspective, and rustic, her outfits defo matched the vibe, with cozy knits, oversized flannel shirts, and layered pieces. It was a sharp contrast to high-fashion looks from the previous era. But that's the beauty of Taylor's mind. She's not afraid to show all her sides. These are more grounded looks, were a breath of fresh air during the pandemic era and provided a new, grounded type of femininity, which is a comfortable yet chic and relaxed, but thoughtful. Finally, in 2002, before the Birth of Eras tour, Taylor Swift released Midnights, a journey through the complexities of love and life, and with it, her fashion continued to evolve. Her style in Midnights brought back glitz and glam, but with a sense of sophistication and class. Think more sleek, glamorous looks paired with the muted color palette that was rich and luxurious. The fashion that was less about being edgy or experimental and more about elegance with a modern twist. Then back to Folklore and Evermore era with her recent release, aka Tortured Poets Department. Taylor's style evolution is a true reflection of her growth as an artist, and it's fascinating to see how it mirrors the time she's lived through. From her country roots to her rise to pop, and then back to more introspective side of her artistry. Taylor has always adapted her look to match her music. She's proven that style is just as much about self-expression as it is about cultural influence. And if there's one thing we can take away from her style journey, it's that Taylor Swift's fashion is a dynamic, multi-dimensional, and constantly evolving in her music. Whether she's wearing a sparkly dress or a cozy cardigan, Tay's style evolution proves that she can do it all and will be ready for it. And that's everything we have for you today. Do you love this Taylor Swift debrief as much as we do? Let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like our channel for more fashion content. Until next time, stay stylish, stay chic. XOXO, House of Vanity.